I'm sure you've heard the news. Europe, 1800. A continent on the brink of monumental change, where the old world was about to be reshaped by the ambitions of one man. Imagine a continent at war. Cannons roar, muskets fire, armies clash in a whirlwind of steel and fire. The air thick with smoke, the ground trembling under the weight of marching boots and galloping horses. This was not just another conflict, it was a storm that would sweep across nations, leaving a trail of destruction and change. This wasn't just another war, this was different. It was a war of ideologies, of empires, and of a single man's vision. The aftermath was a landscape of devastation, with fields turned into graveyards and cities into ruins. This was the age of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man whose name would become synonymous with military genius and relentless ambition. He was a figure both revered and reviled, a leader who inspired loyalty and fear in equal measure. For almost 15 years, Napoleon's ambition would reshape Europe. Borders were redrawn, alliances forged and broken, and the map of Europe was in a constant state of flux. His campaigns stretched from the Atlantic coast to the Russian steppes, each battle a step towards his vision of a unified Europe under French dominance. From the sun-drenched fields of Spain to the frozen plains of Russia, his name would become a legend. His armies marched through diverse landscapes, facing different challenges, from the guerrilla warfare in the Iberian Peninsula to the harsh winter of the Russian campaign. But how did it all begin? What were the early influences that shaped this young Corsican into a military prodigy? His journey from a small island to the throne of an empire is a tale of ambition, strategy, and relentless drive. What drove this man to conquer? Was it a quest for glory, a desire for power, or a vision of a new world order? His strategies were meticulous, his decisions often ruthless, but always with a singular focus on his ultimate goal. And what were the lasting consequences of his tumultuous reign? The legacy of Napoleon is etched into the very fabric of European history. The Congress of Vienna sought to restore balance, but the echoes of his conquests would resonate for generations. Let's find out. To understand Napoleon, we need to look back at the French Revolution. This tumultuous period saw the old order swept away by revolutionary fervor. From the ashes of this chaos, a young, ambitious artillery officer rose through the ranks. Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a brilliant strategist, a charismatic leader, and he was hungry for power. His victories in Italy marked him as a rising star. Seizing his moment, Napoleon orchestrated a coup, crowning himself Emperor of the French in 1804. Napoleon's military genius was undeniable. He revolutionized warfare. Gone were the days of slow, predictable battles. Napoleon introduced speed, aggression, and innovative tactics. He used artillery as a mobile strike force, and his infantry, inspired by their emperor, fought with unmatched ferocity. Austerlitz in 1805 became a testament to his brilliance. He outmaneuvered and crushed a larger Austro-Russian army. It was a masterpiece of military strategy. The Napoleonic Wars were a clash of titans, with figures like the Duke of Wellington and Tsar Alexander I playing pivotal roles. Wellington, the British general, became Napoleon's staunchest opponent. Known for his strategic brilliance and his army's unwavering discipline, Wellington would eventually bring Napoleon's reign to an end. Tsar Alexander I of Russia, initially an ally, became a formidable enemy when Napoleon's ambition threatened Russia's vast empire. Napoleon's ambition ultimately proved to be his downfall. His grand vision of conquering Europe led him to make one of the most fateful decisions in military history. In 1812, he led his Grand Armée, over 600,000 strong, into the heart of Russia. This massive force, the largest ever assembled by Napoleon, was a testament to his military prowess and ambition. The Russians, refusing to engage in a decisive battle, retreated, drawing Napoleon deeper into their territory. They employed a scorched earth policy, burning villages and crops, leaving nothing for the advancing French army. As the harsh Russian winter set in, the situation grew dire. Supplies dwindled rapidly, and the French soldiers, unprepared for the brutal cold, began to suffer immensely. The Grand Armée, ravaged by hunger and the cold, was a shadow of its former self. The soldiers, once a formidable force, were now struggling to survive each passing day. The invasion of Russia became a disaster, marking the beginning of the end for Napoleon. The retreat from Moscow was a harrowing journey, with soldiers facing relentless attacks from Russian forces and the unforgiving winter. This catastrophic campaign shattered Napoleon's invincibility and set the stage for his eventual downfall. This chapter delves into one of the most dramatic periods in Napoleon's life, a time marked by his fall from power, a brief resurgence, and his ultimate defeat. Defeated and his empire crumbling, Napoleon was forced to abdicate in 1814. The once mighty emperor who had dominated Europe saw his dreams shattered as his enemies closed in from all sides. The coalition forces, comprising Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, had finally succeeded in breaking his grip on power. He was exiled to the island of Elba, a small Mediterranean island off the coast of Italy. Despite the island's beauty, it was a far cry from the grandeur of his former empire. Napoleon, however, was not one to accept defeat easily. He spent his time on Elba plotting his return, maintaining a small army, and keeping a close eye on the political developments in France. In a daring escape, he returned to France and rallied his supporters. On February 26, 1815, Napoleon slipped past his guards and set sail for France. His return was nothing short of miraculous. As he marched towards Paris, soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined his cause, and the people welcomed him with open arms. The king fled, and Napoleon reclaimed his throne. The 100 Days had begun. This period, lasting from March 20th to June 28, 1815, saw Napoleon attempting to rebuild his empire. He quickly reassembled his army, hoping to strike a decisive blow against the coalition forces before they could unite against him. His return sent shockwaves through Europe, and the great powers scrambled to respond. Europe held its breath as Napoleon marched once more. The coalition forces, determined to end his rule once and for all, mobilized their armies. The stage was set for a final, epic confrontation. Napoleon's strategy was to divide and conquer, hoping to defeat the coalition forces in detail before they could combine their strength. His final confrontation with Wellington's forces at Waterloo in 1815 sealed his fate. The Battle of Waterloo, fought on June 18, 1815, was a brutal and decisive engagement. Despite his tactical genius, Napoleon was unable to overcome the combined might of the British and Prussian armies. The defeat was catastrophic, and his dreams of empire were irrevocably crushed. This time there would be no escape. The coalition forces, determined to prevent any further resurgence, took no chances. Napoleon was captured and transported to a place from which escape was impossible. Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. St. Helena, located in the South Atlantic Ocean, was a desolate and isolated place, far removed from the centers of power. Here, Napoleon spent his final years reflecting on his meteoric rise and fall and the legacy he left behind. The Napoleonic Wars left an indelible mark on Europe. The continent was redrawn. Empires had fallen, new ones emerged. The wars also fueled the rise of nationalism. People began to identify more strongly with their nations. This sense of shared identity would shape European politics for decades to come. The Napoleonic Code, with its emphasis on equality and individual liberty, influenced legal systems across Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of history's most complex figures. Was he a hero who brought revolutionary ideals to Europe? Or was he a ruthless tyrant who sacrificed countless lives for his own ambition? He was a military genius, no doubt. He was also a skilled administrator who modernized France. But his ambition led to devastating wars that engulfed Europe. The Napoleonic era is a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring allure of power. So there you have it, the Napoleonic Wars in a nutshell, or should I say a cannonball. It was a time of great upheaval, of epic battles and larger-than-life characters. But what do you think? Was Napoleon a hero or a tyrant? Dig deeper, explore the battles, the characters, the politics. History is waiting for you to uncover its secrets. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more fascinating stories from the past.